I'm Lisa Federico, and this is Inside Northwest Columbus. After spending decades in corporate marketing, I traded boardrooms for backyards because the best stories are happening right here at home. Every week, you'll meet entrepreneurs, creatives, and everyday neighbors doing extraordinary things across Worthington and Northwest Columbus. So let's jump into this week's conversation. Welcome to Inside Northwest Columbus. I'm your host, Lisa Federico, and this month we are talking all about being thankful for the month of November. Many times people will say, I'm very thankful for the beauty of nature, until those beauties munch down all of our landscaping and then drop off a few thousand ticks as a parting gift. And so this is where my guest comes in. She's basically the deer whisperer of Northwest Columbus, so we are so grateful to have her on. She helps homeowners be able to protect their yards without turning Thanksgiving into a Bambi Revenge Fest. So, welcome to the show, Sarah Lucco with OhDEER, located right here in Worthington.
Thank you.
Welcome. It has been quite a year for you.
It has been.
I'm so excited.
It has been a wild ride this summer.
Yeah, it's been a whole year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit about OhDEER, about what you do. My husband talks about the deer as gangsters. And we do have plenty of them in our neighborhood. And I know we're going to
drive down the street, you'll see them.
They're everywhere. I was just driving on High Street about 6 weeks ago, and I was shocked just at how many and how brazen they are. I think there was like 12 of them just wanting to cross the street.
Yeah.
And I also think it's funny that in the spring, they're all like tiny and thin. And then as fall comes, they've all got big antlers and they're all big and fat, and there's plenty of them. I know that homeowners get very frustrated. But tell us a little bit about OhDEER. Tell us a little bit about the story and how you got affiliated, or how you started the business.
So I'm really excited about this. It's a franchise that we started here in Columbus.
Yeah.
They founded this company out in Massachusetts about 18 years ago. Yeah. And I really wanted something where I could be outside. And I've grown up in Worthington my whole life. So I know the deer population just as well as anyone else in the area. And so I heard about OhDEER, and I heard about what they were doing to help save plants and prevent deer from eating them in people's yards. And I was really interested. I loved the idea of being outside. So I decided to buy one of those franchises and start it here in Columbus. And so now what I do is deer control. So I spray people's plants that deer are eating in their yard to help retrain those deer from viewing their yard as their feeding grounds.
Right, which they've been doing for years and years and years and years and years. And I think it's really important, too, that we recognize that as homeowners, right, we're trying to train wild animals.
Yes.
We're trying to train them not to eat our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not easy to do.
It's
not like it's not a one and done. You don't just spray and the deer are like, oh, yeah, no, thank you. It doesn't work that way.
They're like, oh, this is different. I'm still going to try it because I've been eating here.
Right. So how long does it take on average?
I think it varies a little bit. I've seen results as soon as 3 applications on my 3-week cycle. So that is about 6 to 9 weeks. Yeah. I've seen it take as long as 8 applications before we see them not feeding anymgoing
Right. And I would imagine it also depends on what you have in your yard. Mm-hmm. Like if you have put everything in your landscaping that deer love, they're going to chomp down on that a little bit more than if you have, a ton of marigolds, which they say they don't eat, but I think
they will if they'll honestly, I have seen them eat anything if they're hungry.
Yeah.
I've seen them eat lamb's ear, and people say for sure deer don't eat lamb's ear. I've seen it.
Yeah. Now, you've talked a little bit about our population of deer in Worthington being a little bit more difficult to control than in other areas. What's that all about?
I think part of it is how long they have been in the area. So I'm coming in. This is brand new. We've been doing it 6 months at this point, and deer have been here 20, 30 years. And I think part of it is also the amount of deer within the area, where square footage wise, compared to other parts of even Ohio, even Dublin or Powell, where there's more woods and roaming area. In Worthington in particular, there are so many deer compacted into that spot that you walk in someone's backyard and there's 6 deer standing there staring at you. Yeah. And they have nowhere to go because there's just another house next door.
Right, right. And so that makes it very difficult to control.
Because it's the number of deer and the only food source they have is people's plants.
Yep. Yeah. And this is what I love about the company, too, is that you have figured out a way to humanely deter them, right, from eating your stuff. I know that it's all natural, but can you talk a little bit about the solutions that you use and how that works a little bit?
So the solution, it's all natural because there's no actual chemicals in it. It's essentially a mix of essential oils and some products that deer really hate the taste and smell of. It has things like egg yolk, garlic. It has cinnamon oil in it. So a lot of different mixes of ingredients. We have about 3 different products we rotate through because deer do adjust to the scent. So we switch it out on them when they start to kind of get used to it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's the product being all natural is why we do the consistent sprays on the 3-week cycle, because unlike chemicals, it's not going to stay for 6 months at a time. But that also makes it a lot safer for people and for animals. So you can be in your yard while I'm spraying your plants. Your dog is going to be fine. There's no evacuation period for it. I don't even wear a mask when I'm spraying.
Yeah.
So it's safe. And even if deer do try to eat your plants, it's not going to harm them in any way.
Right. And unlike other types of like repellents and sprays, yours doesn't have an impact on pollinators. And I mean, it's because it's all natural. I love how we're actually training these wild animals, right? I mean, that's what we're really doing. And it's not like when you go to put like a weed preventer on your grass, you can pretty much tell right away whether it's working or not. But I think that with this, I love that it's all natural. I love that it doesn't harm like pollinators and other animals. I think that is part of this whole solution, this training solution of what we need to do to help our landscaping actually look like landscaping instead of little snubs.
And with our tick and mosquito spray as well, it's also safe, which is one of my other services that I offer.
Right.
And especially with the bees and butterflies in particular, like our main pollinators that we need, so our product is a kill-on contact spray. But unlike chemicals, when it sticks to the plant, it's not something that they're going to carry with them to the hive. So it might kill a bee if I spray it directly, but we also go through training to avoid that happening.
Yeah.
And then if that were to happen and if a bee does land on the plant, it's not going to take it back with it to the hive and kill the whole hive, unlike chemical counterparts for our tick and mosquito spray.
Yeah. And so you said something that I really didn't really think about, but when you have deer, you automatically have ticks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that causes...
Ticks love deer.
Yeah, and that causes a whole host of health issues, right, for communities as well as families and homeowners. Talk about how you have solutions that help with the tick problem.
So our ticks, we have a spray application that we do, and it's for ticks and mosquitoes. And I spray people's perimeters, their yard, all usable property area with the spray. And then we also do have an option for granular, which I do a 6 to 10 foot perimeter around people's properties. Both of these items are kill on contact. So any tick that walks through the granular or that I spray with the spray will die, no matter what stage of life. Same with mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And then it leaves behind a scent deterrent. So it will help prevent new ones from entering the yard to help control and mitigate the problem in people's property.
You know, it was interesting with all this rain that we had all summer long, right? We had a ton of ticks in our neighborhood.
Yeah, the tick population was really bad this year, actually.
Yeah. And I think it's important to note, too, that there's preventative measures, just like when you prevent weeds, right? In order to prevent ticks, you've got to have some time in market, if you
Yeah.
will. And right now, there's no reason for people to wait until spring, right? Now's the time, I guess, to take care of some of these issues.
Yeah. I think because particularly with ticks, what a lot of people don't actually know is that they are active when the temperature is above 25 degrees.
Oh,
So they might be a little less active than they would be. Their most active time of year is actually October and November when it's a little bit cooler. But that is when you're going to see the most tick activity happening. But they can still be active when the temperature is above 25 degrees, which gets with Ohio weather, it gets us pretty far into winter where it's still possible to see and get ticks.
Yeah. So now is really the time to address this because they are so prevalent.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Do they die off in the winter and then just come back in the spring, or no? They just kind of
hibernate, actually. And that's part of our granular that we do. We do it over the winter. So let's say the temperature drops to 18 degrees and they go into hibernation. As soon as there's a spike back above 25 degrees, they'll wake up. But if you during our granular applications, those ticks that wake up will die.
Yeah. And what about mosquitoes? Do you treat over the winter for mosquitoes as well, or no? You just do
Mosquitoes will die. They die when the temperature goes below 45 degrees. Yeah. So they'll come back in the spring, and that is when I start spraying for them. But it's not something as worrisome over the winter because it usually is 45 degrees is pretty.
So if you're worried about a tick problem now, your tick problem's not going away in the spring just because winter hits.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that the population will just keep growing and growing, kind of like our deer population.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I want to ask you about, we talked a little bit about the humane repellents that you use. I wanted to talk a little bit about some deer stories that you have.
Okay.
Because, like I said, my husband calls them gangsters because they are so brazen.
They really are.
Yeah. But you've had instances where, you walk into a yard and they're just right there to greet you.
Yeah. Yeah. I walked into someone's backyard a week ago and there were 6 deer standing up in that backyard staring at me. And I was like, do I back out of here or can I spray around you?
Have you had an issue where they've not wanted you
kind
there?
Of stood their territory. Yeah. No, they usually do end up running away. I think I use a backpack blower for the deer control on the plants. I think the noise scares them a little bit.
Yeah, so you haven't had an issue where you've had to go toe-to-toe with a little gangster.
I did have one run at me because I was walking up to a tree to spray it, and I didn't see the deer behind the tree, and it ran past me. Oh, my gosh.
I know. Probably scared the heck out of
me. It really did. It really did.
Yeah. Do you notice that they're getting more aggressive, or no? They're pretty docile.
Deer will most often be aggressive right after they have their fawns, which usually happens in April. And fawns at about 6 months can actually get pregnant again. So sometimes they'll be pregnant as early as 6 months in October. But when they actually birth their new fawns is when they get most aggressive because the moms want to protect their babies and help them survive. So usually June is when you'll see the most aggressive and active deer, and especially with the fawns because they're trying every plant for the first time. So they'll eat anything, and the mom is trying to protect them while they're learning.
And again, back to this training, the babies are learning, and the babies then grow up and then teach theirs. And again, that's why this is an ongoing kind of training program, if you will, letting them know what they can eat, right?
Habit breaking training program.
Right. And when you spray the landscaping, how long does it stick to the trees? And what about like rain, and how does all that work?
So perfect scenario, it lasts 3 to 4 weeks. I come on a 3-week cycle. I have seen less success on 4 weeks. Yeah. So 3 weeks seems to be the sweet spot. Yeah. With rain, it will not wash off like some of the at-home remedies that people have or like the sprays you can buy from Home Depot or Lowe's. But it will dissipate it some. But because of that, we offer free resprays to our customers, any customer that is on the 3-week schedule. If it has rained or if they see any feeding, they just give me a call and I come back out and we'll respray their plants for them.
Wonderful. And so then is the service like a monthly It's like a monthly service, or
It's
you
a
pay for so
3
many applications every 3 weeks?
So it is a no obligation agreement. So you pay per application. It's like a subscription, like subscribing
Yeah.
to Netflix, you pay per month. So you pay every 3 weeks when I come spray.
Yeah. And then if I need a respray, you can come out and absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Before we get back to the show, I've got to tell you what's coming up in December. Our giving issue is packed with incredible stories about giving back to our community and the incredible people and companies who make Northwest Columbus shine. And here on the podcast, you'll hear conversations that leave you inspired and proud to call this community home. Hit subscribe so you don't miss out, and snag your free digital copy in the show notes. So I asked our Facebook community
Okay.
to come up with some strategies that they've used, or that they have questions about whether or not these strategies work. Now, I'm not going to say I've done any of these, maybe some, but I want your thoughts on this, because a lot of people, right, do home remedies to try and figure out how do I deter them.
A lot of my customers started with home remedies.
Yep, and then they figure out that maybe those don't work. But the first one, peeing on your plants. Does it work? I haven't done this one, by the way. Just I put that out
can
there.
understand the concept behind it, because some of the deer control options are urine-based,
right?
Coyote urine. I don't know anyone that would choose to go pee on their plants.
Yeah.
I also do think it can kill them, because dogs peeing on a tree will kill it.
Right. How about Irish Spring? I love the smell. I love the smell of Irish Spring.
I have customers with Irish Spring hanging in their trees, and they still called me. So I don't think it works.
Well, and again, it's a training thing, right? But these might deter for a day or two, but they really need more of that.
Part of our solution is that it not only leaves behind a scent, but also a taste on the plants. Irish Spring might put the scent there for a day or two, but the deer, when they try to eat the plant, it's not going to be any different for them.
Yeah, that's right. How about hair clippings?
Hair clippings. Okay, I've not actually heard of that one.
I have not tried this one either.
But my running theory is that deer are just so used to humans at this point. I'm not really seeing how that is actually going to help.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Spreading coffee grounds and pepper flakes.
I have heard coffee grounds are really good fertilizer. Pepper flakes can work, but it's kind of the same, where it
disperses in the rain.
It disperses. Yeah, the rain washes it off. It's not consistent. Do you want to be outside like every single night spraying pepper flakes everywhere?
No, probably
I don't know anyone that wants to go through that.
I did try wind chimes and pie plates. Yeah, that didn't work.
I have some customers that have tried the I don't know what they're called. You stick them in the ground and they make that noise and flash a light.
Yep,
a little
I've
bit.
seen those.
But deer just get used to them, and the sound doesn't change their food source. So they're just like, oh, I can still eat here, even if I'm a little annoyed.
Great point. Okay, let's move on to ticks.
Okay.
You use some non-poisonous types of, but it is a direct, like when you spray it, the ticks, they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people have used essential oil sprays or diatomaceous earth. Does any of that?
It can work. Our mix does have essential oils. It is commercial grade, but you have to be out there spraying every single night.
You got to be a vigilante, don't you?
Especially in the spring when it's raining a lot. And the spring is especially the best time for mosquitoes because they breed in standing water. So after rain is when they're going to populate the most. But that's also when all of your solution has washed off.
Yeah. Treating your pet with tick medication, that does not necessarily help your tick issue, your tick population, right?
Great for your dog.
Right.
Or cat, honestly, outdoor cats.
Right.
But it doesn't change your environment you're in.
Yeah.
And that is kind of part of what we're doing is to prevent the ticks from being in your yard so that you can enjoy your yard, not have to worry about it. And you can't give yourself the same tick remedy that you give to your dog.
Right. And again, I think it's so important to talk about the fact that if you have deer, you have ticks, and they can present a real health problem for families.
You can
and
have
humans
thousands of
and-
ticks in your yard and not even know it.
Yeah.
But they carry so many diseases. Lyme disease
Right.
is a huge one. I know people that have gotten tick bites and have had scares with Lyme disease.
Yeah. Didn't get the magazine at home? No problem. You can read it for free by signing up for our digital issues. Just head to the link in the show notes. And hey, if you're just listening to this episode, did you know you can watch it too? Catch the full video on YouTube, link below. So this month, of course, our theme is thankful.
Yeah.
And we probably need to talk a little bit about patience. Being thankful that we have solutions like yours to help us with this deer and tick and mosquito issues that we have. But taking some time to think through, right, how long it really takes to solve the problem.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about the fact that the deer have been in our areas, in our communities for so long. They're just so acclimated to everything, marigolds and all the things that we plant.
Acclimated to people.
Yeah. So anything that we do is going to take a little bit of time. It's not like you can't just like bop them on the nose with a newspaper and they'll go away. It doesn't work that way, does it?
And what I have told my customers is that we built our homes in their home.
Yeah.
They were here before us. Deer roam, they're wild animals. It does take patience. It's a really effective product. I've had customers say it's 90% effective. I can never 100% guarantee.
Sure.
They are wild, but I have seen such great progress over this first spring, summer season, and I'm really excited about it. But it is progress. You know, it takes time for the plants to grow back. It takes time for the deer to understand that your yard is no longer where they can eat.
Well, and you probably won't know, right, if I keep calling it training, but you probably won't know if it's working until you start seeing, right, the blooms and all the things that you may not have seen in past seasons because the deer were eating everything.
Yeah.
I keep all of our roses in cages, right? Not the deer, but the roses have to be in cages in order to protect them against
the netting
deer.
over top of your...
Absolutely. But until you start to see that new growth, right, that's when you know that your solution is working.
Yeah. I have a customer, he started with me at the beginning of the summer, and by June, deer were still chewing on some of his rose buds. But
it's very annoying.
By August, both of his rose bushes were completely full of buds.
Yeah. And so if I'm spraying with you, eventually the deer get the message that, wow, this tastes terrible. I'm going to move on. Yeah. So then where do they move on to?
Your next door neighbor.
Yes,
probably.
To where the plants and the stuff taste a little bit better.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and sometimes they will get used to it. They'll eventually learn that it doesn't change the nutritional value of what they're eating.
Right. If they're hungry enough, even they'll still.
If they're hungry enough. And that is why we have a couple different products that we switch between.
To keep training them to not.
If you're not seeing feeding for 2 months and then all of a sudden they try eating it, we have other products that we use to kind of throw up a flag on them.
Yeah. Besides actually seeing the deer in your yard, do you have clients who are like, oh, I didn't realize that was deer damage?
Yeah, I do. I think one thing is antlers rubbing against trees. If you see the bark of trees kind of fraying off is one thing. If you see any hoof marks in your yard or in your mulch, right, that is a sign that they are at least walking through your property. And then particularly with feeding, I think it is usually 6 feet or below. Deer don't often reach higher than that, but especially with arborvitae trees.
Yep.
I have
very long and narrow.
Yeah, I have one customer, it's bushy at the top and then a stick all the way down. And when I was on an assessment with her, I was talking to her about that being deer feeding. And she was like, I just thought I bought a weird tree. Right. I just thought it came like that. I was like, no, deer have been eating that.
So if your plants are very narrow at the bottom and thick on the top, chances are the deer have been munching
Or
them.
if you see beautiful blooms at the top, but then not as many at the bottom, that can even be a sign.
Yeah. You are doing some really great community work
Yeah.
in our area as well. Tell us about the upcoming coat drive
The
that
coat
you've
drive.
got.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about this because part of being a business owner and being part of Worthington, and I just love the Northwest Columbus area as a whole. It's where I want to spend the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I have family that have needed coats for their kids. And so we are putting on a coat drive where we're going to be taking in any used coats, any new coats that you want to buy. And we're going to have some drop-off locations, and then we're going to be distributing them to families in need and people in need that need coats for the winter.
That's wonderful. And that's through the month of November.
Yeah.
Great. And we will have all the information for the coat drive in the show notes, so be sure to check that out. What else is going on with OhDEER?
OhDEER.
OhDEER.
I am excited. We are in the process right now of switching from our spring summer season to our fall winter season.
Yep.
So I'm getting excited about continuing deer control. I can do it all through the winter.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to people about the plants and it's really great because it gears us up nicely for spring, where there's going to be a way better success rate for those flowering spring plants by these customers that have chosen to continue.
And some of us may actually see, right, the fruits of our labor,
Yes.
right, come
Yeah.
to fruition in the spring.
Yeah.
No, it's fantastic. The work that you're doing, it's very humane, but yet it's still very safe for homeowners and families and kids. And yet it gives us back a little bit more time to be able to enjoy the beauty of our yards that some of us just spend an inordinate amount of time on.
And that is what I want to help with. I want to help people enjoy their yard without worrying. That's my job, to worry about your yard. Yeah. I want to be able to be there if you see feeding. I want to be there if you see new growth coming on your plants and you're worried about it. I want to be able for people to just walk outside and see their flowers and love them and not have to worry about them getting eaten overnight.
Yeah. Well, and two, I love the fact that I am not disciplined enough to go out and spray everything constantly.
Yeah.
You know, and there's just so much out there to think about. Like when you go to the store and you look at all the repellents, right? I don't know what's good for the environment and what isn't and what I should be using and how. I would just rather give it to somebody give it to a professional like you to come out and take care of my gangster problem.
Yeah. The time commitment.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people are like being out there every single day, taking an hour to spray all their plants.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard work. It is.
Yeah.
I love it. So I love being outside. I want to help people with it, and I want them to not have to put that much time and energy into it. That's why I'm here, so they can just love it.
Right. What do you like most about being a business owner?
I think what I like most is honestly the learning. I kind of consider myself a forever student.
Yep.
If I could have stayed in college my whole life, I probably would have. Yeah. I like teaching myself and learning new things. And I think being a business owner, things are always changing. And there are so many things to learn as far as, you know, marketing, new customers, new plants I didn't even know deer ate that I'm learning about.
Yeah, we're all shocked by that.
I know, yeah. So I think my favorite thing about being a business owner is just I feel like there's so much room to grow and so much room to learn. And I get to continue doing that.
Yeah. And two, because we're in the Midwest, right? Mm-hmm. We generally have very tight communities.
Yes.
And I mean, I know I love my customers. I'm sure you do as well, right? It just, when you've built that community awareness, it's wonderful to see, right, how clients respond to you.
Yeah.
Especially when you're helping them and helping with this issue that we've got, not just in Northwest Columbus, but across Central Ohio.
Yeah. My favorite is I've had some customers just email me pictures of flowers. And they're like, look, I have flowers.
Right. First time
like, this
in
is
forever.
Great. Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. I love receiving that kind of feedback and seeing that I actually am helping people enjoy their plants again, enjoy their yard.
What you do is fantastic, and we definitely need help in our community, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Where can people get more information about OhDEER?
OhDEER. You can go to our website. It's o-deer.com.
Yeah.
Or you can just give me a call. It leads directly to my cell phone. It's 614-697-2270.
Wonderful. And you do free consultations,
Yeah.
and you can come out and assess damage and all that good stuff.
Free consultations, free quotes. So we can have a discussion about, even if you're not even sure, I can come out and assess your yard and see what they are eating for you. Yeah, that's
Fantastic. Sarah, thank you so much. This was great.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, you are very welcome. It was a pleasure. That is going to be it for this week's episode of Inside Northwest Columbus. Please review the show notes because we will have all the information there about the coat drive, as well as how you can reach out to OhDEER. And if you've got any questions about the gangsters in your yard or ticks or mosquitoes, Sarah's your girl. So make sure that you reach out to her. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week on Inside Northwest Columbus.
Boxland Media. Think big.